Welcome to lesson number 4 of the Bobri 130 Daily Studies. These 5 exercises are going to be dedicated to the key of E minor. The key signature just means 1 sharp. So last time we did G major, and E minor is the relative minor of G major, sharing the same key signature there. 1 sharp, it's the F sharp. All right, so let's get started with study number 16. For exercise 16 here. For one measure, you're going to have the E minor chord. You're going to go to the second measure, which is going to be the A minor. So E minor is the 1 chord. A minor is going to be the 4 chord in the key of A minor. Then we're going to go measure number 3 to a B7 chord. And then the last measure, we're going to end with E minor to A minor, B7, back to E minor. All right. So let's start with exercise number 16. E minor in the left hand. The pattern for the right hand is going to be thumb on the bass note. It's going to be 6th string for that open E. We're going to go middle, 3rd string, index on the 4. And then it's going to go ring, middle, index. So 2, 3, 4. I'll repeat that. Next one's going to go, next 2 beats are going to go with an alternate bass. So I'm going to hold down the G with my 4th finger here on the 6th string, 3rd fret, get that alternate bass, G note. We're going to do the same thing, except when we go ring, middle, index, it's going to be on the 1st string open, and then back to 3, 4. Those are the string numbers. Do measure number 1 again. E minor, now you may notice that I have my 2nd finger down on a B note, 5th string, 2nd fret. The reason why I have that down, I'm just trying to keep some semblance of a chord structure here. So I'm not using it, but I still have it down, all right? Okay, second measure is going to be sort of the same thing. Moving to an A minor chord, we're going to use all these notes in this A minor. We're going to start with the open A on the 5th string. It's going to be 5th string, and then same pattern here. Second measure. Third measure is going to go to the B7 chord. So this is the 5 chord or the 5-7 chord. All right, so we got a B7 chord down on the left hand. It's going to start with the thumb on the B bass note, 5th string, 2nd fret. That's 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then bass note on 5. Don't forget ring on that 1st string. Okay, so we're going to end up on the 4th measure here. We're going to go E minor. Now this is just going to be thumb, middle, index, A minor, B7. And on this last beat, 4th beat of measure 4, we're just going to pluck, we have an E minor chord down. We're just going to pluck 6, 5, 4, and 3 together. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Okay, let's do exercise number 16, slow tempo. Exercise number 16, regular tempo. Okay, exercise number 17. I don't know what Bobri was thinking at this time, so I'm not gonna read his mind, but he goes into a completely different time signature here, which is 6/4 for 3 measures. And he does this 12/8 at measure number 4. Reason? Not quite sure, because everything else up until this time was 4/4, or they call common time, 4 beats per measure. This one's going to be 6 beats per measure in 8th notes. Everything before that, except for exercise number 1, was all 8th note triplets, so 3 notes per each beat, pretty much. So let's jump into this one. So what we have is E minor in the 1st measure, and this is just going to be thumb index, all right? So it's just going to be E minor chord down, full chord. It's going to be 6 and 3, Then it's going to go 4 and 2, 3 and 1, 4, 2. Alternate bass here, the G with the 4th finger, 6 and 3, 4 and 2. Measure number 1 again. There you go. Measure number 2 is going to be same thing, thumb, index. So starting with thumb on the 5th string, index on the 3rd. Alternate bass here. All right, moving to a B7 chord, same thing, all right, starting with that B bass note. All right, here we go into 12/8 time, so it's back into that triplet form. There you go. Okay, let's do this exercise 17, slow tempo, starting with the first measure, E minor. Exercise number 17, regular tempo. Here we go. There you have it. Exercise number 18. All right, we're going to start off with the E minor chord in the first measure, but halfway through we're going to move to the A minor chord. So there's going to be a little bit more chordal movement within the measures here. All right, so we got E minor chord down. We're going to pluck thumb, middle, and ring together, 6, 2, and 1. Thumb on the 5th string, index on the 3rd. Alternate bass here, same thing. Okay, moving to the A minor chord. This is going to be thumb on the 5th string, and then 2 and 1 plucked with middle, ring. Alternate bass. All right, here we're going, measure number 2 is going to be basically a B7 chord, but we're going to start with an F sharp bass here. All right, so we got, I'll put all 4 fingers down for this. This is going to be thumb plucked with index middle. So 6, 3, and 2 strings plucked together. Thumb on the 4th string, index on the 3rd. We're going to move down to the bass note to that B note for the B7 chord. Thumb, middle, ring. All right. I'm going to slide, this is going to an E minor chord or back to the E minor chord. And slide that note that was on the F sharp, 1st string, 2nd fret, up to the G on the 1st string, 3rd fret. All right, so we're going to pluck here, thumb, middle, and ring together, 6, 2, and 1. Let go of that. We're going to this G bass note here, alternate bass here. I'm going to play that second measure again for you. Here we go. A lot of movement going on in that second measure. All right. Moving to the 3rd measure here, E minor chord down, just like the first measure. It's going to be for like the first 2 beats. Next chord we're moving to is an A minor chord, except we're going to do a long stretch here. So 1, 2 fingers down. We're going to stretch with the 4th finger to get that 4th string, 4th fret. Notes in F sharp. In this chord, that's going to be the major 6. So it's an A minor chord with a major 6, all right? And then we're going to come in with an alternate bass, this C note, 5th string, 3rd fret. There you go. Back to an E minor chord, measure 4. B7 chord. In the last 3rd and 4th beats here of the 4th measure, this is going to be E minor chord down. We're going to pluck 6, 3, 2, and 1. Hammer on with the fourth finger to that G note. That was 5 and 4. All right. We're going to do exercise number 18, slow tempo. Exercise number 18, regular tempo. Here's exercise number 19. Right hand pattern is going to change a little bit here. So thumb first, followed by thumb, middle, and ring plucked together, and then index by itself. Do that again, first measure. Alternate bass. A minor chord. Alternate bass. B7 chord with that F sharp bass. B bass. E minor chord. G bass. Third measure, E minor. Alternate bass. Here goes that A minor chord with that F sharp. C bass. E minor chord with a B bass. B7 chord. E minor chord. Exercise number 19, slow tempo. Exercise number 19, regular tempo. Here's exercise number 20. E minor chord down, left hand, of course. We're going to go thumb, 6th string, thumb, 5th string, and then we're going to pluck 1, 2, and 3 with our index middle ring. An alternate bass. A minor chord. Alternate bass. B7 chord with F sharp bass. B bass. Okay. E minor chord. Open E. Then staying with that open E. Okay, third measure. E minor, alternate bass, A minor chord with that F sharp, making a major 6, alternate bass, that's C, and that bass. Last measure is going to be E minor with a B bass, B7, and then we're going to do open, 6th string E, hammer on to G with that 4th finger. Pluck 5, 1, 2, and 3 together, and then bass note, 4th string, which is an E note. Here's exercise number 20, slow tempo. Exercise number 20, regular tempo. have it. Lesson 4 is complete. 5 exercises in the key of E minor. Next time we're going to be looking at the key of D major, doing 5 exercises. That key signature has 2 sharps in the key signature. So look forward to seeing you then.